Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. My name is Susan LaCroix, and this is my phenomenally gorgeous daughter, Julie. We've been demonstrators for over 20 years. Actually, Julie is 21. I'm approaching 21. And we're just having a blast. And we live a couple states apart, so we don't get to stamp together very often. So we decided to do this. Actually, Julie came up with a brilliant idea, and we've been doing it for over 2 years.
Can't believe that.
Yeah. Woo! Well, today is Sunday, August 20th, and we have, in addition to some sneak peeks for our projects, Julie is going to show you the tools that we're going to share with you. So I think without further ado, Julie,
You just want to jump right into it, okay?
Oh, I think so.
All right.
Our little bits before we get started is like, yes, busy, da 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 da, so it's like we're busy. We're busy. So I will tell you this one thing though. In a couple days, Julie and I are hopping on flights and we'll be seeing each other in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Red Rock Canyon for our Stampin' Up Leadership Conference. And I'm so looking forward to it. It's great when we can get in person. And from what I understand, this resort is absolutely beautiful. So really looking forward to it. So we will pre-record next Sunday's video because we're going to be, well, I think Dad and I will be on a plane when this
Yes,
airs.
you'll be traveling and I'll be sitting by the pool enjoying an extra day in Las Vegas before I head home.
That's true. Anyway, so that's what's coming up in our week. So now, Julie, take it away.
All right. So it's true. We do say the same things over and over again. It's busy, 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 busy. Okay, so today's product is something that we've been getting a lot of requests to show. This is the Take Your Pick tool. It is not a new tool. However, there are some new attachments for the Take Your Pick tool. And so that's what we're focusing on today. You can find the Take Your Pick tool and the attachments in the May 23 to April 24 Stampin' Up annual catalog on page 145. So the Take Your Pick tool is fabulous. It has one tip that is putty, and it's really great for picking up loose sequins or other little embellishments, little tiny paper pieces that you're trying to put on your card. And this screws in and out of the base, which is really fun about the Take Your Pick tool because you can take your pick as to which attachment you want to use. Then on the other side, there is a different kind of attachment, and this has like a little rotation, so you lock it into place. It comes with a little spatula kind of end, and then also a large paper piercing needle. And so these are interchangeable. You can turn them around and have the paper piercing needle out, or you can turn it around and you can have the spatula. Is that what you call it, Mom?
That's what I call it.
Okay.
It looks like a spatula, so.
In addition to the tools that it comes with, there are some additional attachments, including the die brush handle. And so that one's going to go into the screw end. And I thought I had it, but I couldn't find it before we got started with our video. But that comes with some foam mats that you would use the brush on, and it attaches right there to the Take Your Pick tool. You could also get putty. New putty ends. So when you run out of putty, it comes in a 2-pack and you can get a refill of that. And then the brand new attachments come like this. There are 3 of them, which we are going to show you some tips for using them today. The first one is a perforating blade, and it has a little guard here that you can push up and down. So when you're ready to use it, you're just going to pull it down to use it and it rotates. And then when you're done, you want to make sure to kind of push that up and lock it into place so that you're not getting yourself all perforated. Another attachment which screws in is the hobby blade. And this is just a standard hobby blade. And it has a screw-in attachment, so it's going to go where the putty is. And this is just for standard, really fine cutting. I I personally don't use a hobby blade very often, but it makes sense when you're trying to be precise in cutting out images, maybe even more so than using a pair of scissors. You can use this on like a self-healing mat. And then the last attachment is it is a smaller paper piercing tool. And so I just kind of wanted to show you the difference in size there. So the original one is quite larger and the small one is a little bit more fine and detailed. And I'm going to show you a fun technique with this one. Now I want to point out while I've got it off that the caps for these are a little bit different. You know what? I thought they were, but maybe they are the same. I swear I just looked at it and they were different. Is this the new one? Okay, I'm losing my mind. They do look very similar. Okay, whatever. Let me show you the other end. It is a little plaque remover. You can use that in the bathroom. Or in your stamp room, you can use it to help you remove those pesky little hanging chads from your die, your detailed die. It's really great at kind of poking in there. I love that it has a little angle and it just kind of makes hooking those pieces a little bit easier. So this one, you want to make sure when you're putting the lid on that you are putting the lid on in the same direction as the as that hook, because if you try to put it in this way, I don't know how well you can see, it doesn't go in and you could break it. So you want to make sure to rotate it and that it's going into that thin side in the same direction that it's in. Okay, so those are the new attachments for the Take Your Pick tool. And today we are going to show you some projects using those new attachments to inspire you. I'm excited because we are doing some sneak peeks from the upcoming mini catalog. This is the September through December 2023 Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. Demonstrators can pre-order right now in the month of August, and these products will be available for everybody else starting September 6th. Mom and I are going to demonstrate today with two different things from the mini catalog. So I'm excited that you get to see a bunch of new things from the mini catalog. And I also want to give a little plug to Vacation Stamping School. This is our annual demonstrator training event. And we've been doing this. This is the 18th year, Mom. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I know the very first one, Claire was just like a newborn. She was just little. So she's 18 years old now. And that's how long we've been doing our annual demonstrator training event. This year, it is a virtual event, so we can accommodate not only our team members who are all across the country, but also demonstrators worldwide. You can learn more about this event and register at tinyurl.com/vacation stamping school 2023. We'll have the link in the video description for you. This is a demonstrator training event. So if you're a demonstrator, make sure to check this out. It'll include a swag box with new mini catalog product and an event exclusive. I have so much fun helping to pick those out. So I can't wait for everybody to see what's in their box. The registration ends August 28th. So in 1 week
Wow.
and a day. And so time is running out. So make sure that you get registered right away so that you can join us on Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. Again, this is a virtual event. It also means that everything is going to be recorded and you will be able to look at it later. So if you're not available to join us live on the event date, you can come back and you can look at everything at your convenience, which I personally love about a virtual event because you can watch it over and over again. And especially those demonstrations of the new suites. It's so great to be inspired and check out those project ideas. I'm always going back and referencing those.
It tells me I need to get off my horse and get stuff done for this event.
Yes. It's coming up in just 1 month. And so we are busy planning and creating a fabulous event for you. I know you guys are going to love it. Well, Mom, let's dig into our projects today. I can't wait to see the new product that you're going to be sharing with us.
Okay. All right. So I am using, and let me pull it up first. I am going to use the Pick of the Patch, and it's a punch bundle. So in addition to all these great pumpkins and gourds and other pieces and some greetings, it's got this great punch. Oh man, talk about glare. How can I do this so you guys can see it? Okay. Oh, there's two pumpkins and a pumpkin. Is that better, Julie?
Yeah, I think we can
With 2
see it.
pumpkins, the leaf and the stem. And all those you can punch and then stamp them, punch them, stamp them and then punch them. There we go. Stamp and punch. So that is the bundle that I am using. And so I am, oh, come back here. My card base is crumb cake and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I've got 2 pieces of very vanilla that are 5 inches by 3 3/4. You can't see that very well, can you? Okay. And then I have a piece of old olive that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. All right. So I'm going to remove all these things. And I'm going to put this stuff aside for a moment while we do some other kind of work here. So I'm using our gingham ribbon. And I know that there's some like checked ribbon, but I thought the checks were a little bit too big and I wanted this to be smaller. So this is great because with this, you can make this any color you want by using our Stampin' Blends. And so here we go. And so I just use like the side of the blend and just color. And that's it. And it will dry maybe a little bit lighter, but it does take a minute or 2 to dry.
That was
So
so quick. And you can do this with the new ribbon too. It's just a little bit wider. And I think the new
absolutely.
ribbon is like vanilla and black, and the old
Yes.
ribbon is white and
White
black.
and black. Exactly, Julie. You are so right. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside to dry while we're doing our other things. So because I'm using a lot of pumpkins, I mean, we have a lot. I just want to share with you. I'm just going to do a couple of these just to kind of show you what I did on a piece of the very vanilla. So I'm going to go, I think, this way. So I'm going to start with, okay, where are they all? Okay. So I'm using all pumpkins and, you know, there's some like taller ones and shorter, squatter ones and a bigger one. So so it's a lot of fun. You can just have a lot of fun with this. All right. So like I said, I'm not going to stamp this whole thing because there's a lot to stamp and I don't want to bore you. All right. So this is going to be pumpkin pie and it's just straight on. And then I'm going to take this guy and uh-oh, spaghetti toes. I need something to stamp off on. So I'm going to take the larger, the taller, not larger. I'm stamping off and he's going to go like right next to it. But I'm going to go up a little bit because I'm going to stamp some leaves. I'm not going to do it, but I'll show you on the finished one. I'm stamping some leaves there. And then let's take this one and we'll do some Cajun craze because pumpkins and gourds are different colors. So we're going to do this one. And I am going to stamp off this guy. No, he's going to go full strength. I should have done him off, just stamped off once. I think that's a better color, but it is what it is. There it is. All right, so I'm going to stop right there because you don't need to see me do all this stuff. But I'm going to take, where's my little, here we go. So this little stamp has just like a bunch of dots. So I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to maybe stamp some dots just to give it a little something. And some might have more than others. So anyway, you get the general idea. So we're going to, kind of dot them up. And then I'd stamp the stems and the vines. And so we're going to get a card that looks like, I'll show you this.
Oh, that's so cute.
So as you can see, I stamped leaves in different colors. I stamped all my pumpkins and gourds and I added some vines, and vines can go every which way. And then the greeting that I've chosen is "You're the pick of the patch." Okay. So I'm going to put my inks away because I think I might be done with them. And I'm getting inked up already. All right. So now we're going to, no, I do need one more thing to show you. All right. So on this piece, I'm going to stamp with Old Olive on Old Olive. And I'm going to come in, maybe, I don't want to go right to the edge, either on the bottom or the top. So I'm going to stamp it right about here. And I'm going to take this pile of leaves and I'm going to kind of just go into this little crook there and here and here, just to create a little tree.
I
And
love the way that looks.
isn't that great? And then just because this is kind of got a fall theme, I'm just going to add a couple of leaves to the bottom of the tree, like, oh, look, we're coming off.
Nice.
So that is that piece is going to be essential, and you'll see why in a little bit. I'm going to get rid of these ink pads and put this aside. I also did the inside of my card. So that's that piece right there.
Nice.
Oh, well, I got ink.
Oh, I was just
Okay.
gonna say, is that on your hand right now?
There we go.
Or is that-
I have another one. All right. So I'm going to take these two and set them aside for the moment. And I'm going to now use the tool. That's what y'all came to see anyway, right?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to use the scoring blade on my project. Oh dear. And I'm not using this piece. I'm using this piece. And I'm going to make a score line about the 1 inch mark. So I'm going to move this over to there. Is that right? So this is 3 3/4. So I want to go to 2 3/4. So right there. All right. And we're going to score. Good. Now, before I go any further with this, I want to punch a hole in that corner. And when I pulled out my foam mat, I have one labeled for piercing with a P and one labeled for stamping with an S. And guess which one I pulled?
Oh.
Stamping with an S. Yeah. So I'm going to take our bigger of these picks that Julie was showing us, and I'm going to make a hole here for our ribbon. Now it's still drying a little bit, but you can see how much it's lightened up from the original. So that's a good thing. All right, so I'm just going to shove this through here. And just tie a knot. And then we can trim the edges. Get that little frayed guy off of here. I'll angle this side as well. Okay. So now I'm going to take our perforating tool and say a Hail Mary. So as Julie pointed out, it's up, it's covered. So you can see that there, hopefully on camera. So when I push it down, it exposes that perforating edge. So that's what we want to do. All right. And then I am going to, and I would strongly suggest when you're using this tool that you have something under you so you're not damaging your surface of your table or your desk. Okay.
Deep breath, you got this.
I know. And I'm going to kind of push kind of hard. And
so you're going right over the score line, right?
Right over the score line.
Okay.
And I recommend you don't take this off your paper like I just did. Okay. So now we're not going to do anything else with this right now. So I'm going to push this up and protect myself there. And the other thing I'm going to do is I did another pumpkin, and I'm going to put a 1 dimensional, because this is the pick of the patch. right?
Aw.
So right about there. And I had stamped and punched out the little stem and then put that on with the glue dot. All right, so I'm just going to stick this right about there. All right. Now I'm going to take this piece and adhere it right over that. So I'm going to be, and I'm not doing the edge I just perforated, that other side. And so I'm just going to attach this here. And my card base. I want my bone folder to get a nice crease. I'm done with this yet. And I found another useful tool for our dental tool. And I don't know, with the little hooky thing, I guess. Hooky thing. Is that even a real term? I don't know. All right. This is the one without the ink on it.
I bet it would be helpful to thread your ribbon through the hole too.
Oh, you're right. Oh, I didn't even think of that, Julie. So I'm going to put our inside piece in. We're not quite done yet because I want some embellishments on it because, you know, it's me.
Of course.
And so this is actually, these embellishments are from a suite, an autumn leaf suite. Oh, stuck on everything. Okay. So I love these. It's got Moody Mauve and it's got Old Olive and Crumb Cake and what? I don't know if that's pecan pie or.
I think it's copper clay.
Oh, you're right. It's copper clay. All right. So let me take my little, take your pick tool and we're going to add some of the crumb cake because the card base is crumb cake. So I thought that might be kind of fun to stick this around here. So we're going to put you here, take a little guy and go, oh, maybe about there. Okay.
Love it.
All right. So here is the finished card. I'm going to bring in this one because I had forgotten to put the ribbon on. And so I was trying to do it after it was adhered and it started to tear. So
Oh,
this is a bookmark that you can just take right off and look what's underneath that tree.
aw, I love it. Like a little surprise inside.
Like a little surprise. Yep. There you go. So that is my project with this. But I want to show you just one quick thing with this one, which I'm just going to show you real quick. So I'm not even going to screw it into the handle. But sometimes I have trouble with tear and tape. You know, you get it down, you can't get it up. And if you just take this little hooky thing, you can start to peel it back.
Oh, that's smart.
So another little useful tool for that.
I've also seen people use the piercing tool or that one even to stab the paper backing on Stampin' Dimensionals to take it off and put it on the card. You know, take the paper backing off.
Yep, I should have showed that because I sometimes do that as well. So I wonder if the finer one would be better. I don't know. I'll have to play and see which one's better for taking off Stampin' Dimensionals. But there we go. That is my little project.
I love it. So sweet. And that bundle is one of my favorite. I've already been playing with it and making cards.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So, all right. So, Julie, you'll get the intact one.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Are you ready?
I am. So I am gonna do a little bit of Christmas this week. I am using, oh, I forgot the name of it now. Hold on. It is called the Joy of Christmas Suite from the September through December 2023 mini catalog. It includes a bunch of paper. There's actually two different paper packs. It's 12 by 12. And it is traditional Christmas with shaded spruce, old olive, real red, cherry cobbler. And we just have these gorgeous designs. that you can create beautiful cards with. And then there is a specialty paper, which I didn't bring out, that has gold foil with it. It is so perfect with this. And there are two suites in this, or two bundles in this this mega suite. First, the Christmas Classics bundle, and this one has the really awesome detailed die cut frames. One of which I had a sample card. Well, where did I put that sample card? Oh, here it is. Here is a card that I've made with it, and you can see that detailed die cut, shaded spruce against the shaded spruce. So fun. So these dies are amazing. They go with the Christmas classics. And then there's also a bundle. I just got the stamp set, not the dies, called Joy of Noel. And the dies die cut the stamped images in here. You can make a wreath out of this one. There is a die that will die cut the individual letters in Noel. And then another part of this suite are these loose holly gems and sequins. And so these are so great for shaker cards. There's gold music notes and green holly leaves and gold, I think gold dots. No, just the music notes. And then the red gems. And so you can use the putty tip of your take your pick tool to be able to pick those up and put them on your project. So today's card, I am going to use the perforating blade and the piercing tool to create something fun. This actually was inspired by Amy, who, when she heard that we were going to be doing this, the take your pick tool attachment, she said, "Oh, you got to try the zipper technique." And so it's kind of similar to what you were doing with the bookmark, but instead there's multiple lines so that you can like peel the whole panel off. And so I'm going to use the perforating tool, but I also got out the paper piercing needle because there's a fun little way that you can sort of decorate, I guess, your embellishment. So I, like you, Mom, am using my Stampin' Pierce mat. And it's really great to have one. This is definitely my piercing one. I didn't need the P to let me know because it's just full of holes. Um, but if you don't have a paper piercing mat, I would suggest just adding it to your next order. It's really inexpensive. But you could also use something like a heavy cardboard that comes with your designer paper. You just want something, a self-healing mat, something to protect your work surface. Okay, so first the embellishment for the sentiment. I'm stamping the words, tidings of comfort and joy. And I want to create a pierced circle around our sentiment. And so I'm using a vellum circle. This is a 2-inch circle that I've just punched out. And I'm going to take the paper piercing tool and I am just holding that circle in place and I'm eyeballing this, which I know might drive some of you crazy, but I'm just going to go in opposite sides and kind of do, there's no corners, of course, but I'm just sort of going north, south, east, and west. And now I'm going to eyeball and do the center of each of those spots. And I'm going to keep going back and doing the center. And one more time around, I'm going to do the center of those centers. So it's not going to be perfect, but
I don't know,
you could
Julie,
do,
that's brilliant.
yeah, you could do this with any shape or you could freehand it. I think there was a video from Stampin' Up and they freehanded a heart and I was like, yeah, I don't think so. So you could do that with any shape just to kind of create like an extra, just an extra little something around your image. So now I'm going to take the scallop decorative circle punch and I am going to punch this out. So on the punched yeah, so on the punched shape, there's just kind of an extra little pierced border. So again, that was the 2-inch circle punch that I used. I did another one. I don't know where it went with the 1 3/4 inch circle punch, but for my sentiment, it really felt too crowded. So I used the 2-inch circle punch for that. Okay. So also for the embellishment, I'm going to use the rest of this white paper. I'm going to stamp with shaded spruce and use the holly from the classic Christmas classics. And I'm going to stamp that in shaded spruce and some berries in real red. And I love this tip, Mom, that you've shared before. I feel like you do this a lot. I'm using the blending pen. What is it called? Blender pen. And I'm just going to blend the shaded spruce to color in the outline of that holly. So
Oh, so nice.
yeah, it's like those, paint, not paint by number, but we used to get these books when I was younger where like the paint was built in and you would just use a water paintbrush like to activate it. I feel like this is the same thing. We're just activating that dye-based ink with the blender pen. And
And
these
I just
come in a
added
package of 3. So you get 3 and they're identical. There's 2 ends on each one. And then
I got those coloring books, Julie, because I didn't want paint like everywhere.
yeah, I mean, how smart is that?
Yeah.
I I've die cut it ahead of time so you don't have to watch me do that and just kind of put it together. So this is going to be the embellishment that I put on our little circle.
Love it.
And so let me bring in the other pieces to our card. I have a shaded spruce card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5. And then 2 pieces that are 4 by 5.25. One's white for the inside, and then the shaded spruce for the outside of the card. That's going to be the card front. And then a little piece of that designer paper, The Joy of Christmas. This is 1.5 by 4 inches. And I just realized I've got to grab my scrap paper here because come on. Oh, okay, the whole thing fell. I am going to do some stamping off the edge. So I'm going to actually stamp 3 times. Let me get everything situated. We're going to stamp on the card base, we're going to stamp on the card front, and we're going to stamp on the white piece for the inside. And for this, I'm using the large image here from the Joy of Noel. So I'm using both of those stamp sets, and we're going to stamp this in shaded spruce. So first, for the very inside of the card, I'm just going to do a little corner.
Nice.
And then for the card front, I'm going to do it on the right side. And I'm going to do it on the same place on the card base. Because just like you, we're going to have a little bit of a reveal as we tear down a part of the card front. So for the card front, instead of just a skinny bookmark, I am going to do 2 lines to do this zipper pull technique. And I found instead of scoring, which I love, I am using a piece of heavy duty cardboard. This is something that came in a specialty paper pack, and I cut it down to 2.5 inches by 3 5/8 inches and roughly the size of a gift card. And so this little panel is going to hold a gift card. So I'm going to center it with equal spacing here on the sides. And I'm going to use that cardboard as my guide, and I'll use my perforating blade. And I'm doing the blade closest to the not this way, but this way, closest to the cardboard, so it can go right up against the edge. And it's sort of like, I feel like you need to do a little practicing because you do want to have some pressure and push down so that you're actually creating that perforation. If you don't push down hard enough, then you don't go through the cardstock. So you want to kind of practice a little bit, make sure you're getting the right kind of pressure. So I'm going to do it on the other side as well. And then I'm going to go across the bottom. So if we want to, we can tear that whole panel off. Now, it might make sense, and maybe I should have done this where I did the perforating first and then stamped in the center, but you get the picture. I'm going to use a little 1 3/4 inch circle punch to create a little notch and indicate where it should be torn off. And this is going to go onto the card base using some foam adhesive strips. So that we can create a little pocket. So I've got these foam and adhesive strips. They come really, really long, like this. So I am just going to cut it down to the size that I want. Let me grab my scissors. And I want to make sure to have a piece along the bottom that is going to catch our gift card from falling through the card. So I'm just going to kind of go on either side. And then I'll do an additional piece on the side over here. And technically, I realized as I was putting this together, technically the gift card could just come out the top, but it's fun to kind of peel it back. So if you want to adhere the gift card down, you could use like a little glue dot or something, or a Stampin' Dimensional to kind of glue that in place. Hopefully I line that up right. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so I am going to, before I glue it down, add my designer paper. Again, this was 1.5 by 4 inches. And that's going to go here on the left side. We're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals underneath our circle. And I'm just going to use some regular adhesive.
Love this.
Yeah,
Love
you could add a bow, some gold ribbon, or other embellishments. I don't want to detract too much from everything else, so I think I'm going to leave it. And then you're just going to center this on the card, and you want to make sure that your that your gift card is gonna come out. I hate to do this, but here's the card. And the gift recipient then will take and tear on the perforated edges to reveal the gift card inside. And then when they take that out, they have the design inside. So if you tear that whole thing off, you still have a cute little card.
Love it.
I just realized I forgot to add the inside, but of course that's just going to go in here.
I really like that idea of using some thicker cardboard to make, create that zipper.
Yeah, it was so easy to just go right up to the edge. And I think even if you're making a bookmark card, having some kind of like straight edge, like a ruler or, piece of cardboard or something to go against helps to keep it nice and straight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, let's turn the camera around and we can show off our cards together. Or do you think that we should keep the camera on our desk and share some information about next week's
Oh,
video?
I think so. We should do that first.
Okay, I'm gonna add Mom's desk back on, so we'll be on at the same time. And we are going to do Stamp Along next week.
Yeah. We're so excited about this one too. It really is. We're going to showcase another new bundle in the mini catalog. And I'm just getting my stamps out of the way here. So just real quickly, mine 5.5 by 8.5 inches card base, scored at 4 1/4. So our traditional.
Scoot it over just a little bit. There you go. Perfect.
Thanks, Julie. And then light neutral cardstock. You know, I used I think I used vanilla. So you're going to want 2 pieces of 4 inches by 5 1/4. I used a 3 by 6 inch piece of designer series paper, and I die cut it with one of the Countryside corner dies from the annual catalog. And then I have a 1/4 sheet of basic white. So I guess I'm using white, isn't that vanilla? And I'm using that to stamp and die cut images. And then you can embellish as desired. So I will be doing some stamping and die cutting when I demonstrate my project.
For my card, you're going to need a card base, standard 5.5 by 8.5. You're going to want a piece that is 1.5 by 5.5. That is an accent color. So this is just sort of like one of the color, like I'm using 3 different colors on my card. So the accent color is just sort of like the splash of color that you might add on a card. A piece of basic white that we're going to do our stamping on, 2 3/4 by 3.5, and then a solid color to put behind the basic white cardstock. And it is slightly different, 3 inches by 4 inches. So you might think that's not going to be like a perfect 1/4 inch layer, and it's meant to be that way because we're going to do something special to the white cardstock before we put it on. And then I'm using the double oval punch, but you can use any kind of tag, and I've got white and then a solid color to go behind it. For our projects next week, Mom and I will be showcasing and using the Translucent Florals bundle. This is a brand new bundle from the September through December mini catalog. We thought this one was really versatile, so even if you don't have this yet, you might use other flowers or any stamp set to create the cards along with us. So we encourage you to cut your own cardstock at home and stamp right along with us. This translucent floral bundle is one that demonstrators could pre-order early back in May and June for the Creativity Now event that Stampin' Up had. So if you're a demonstrator, you might already have this bundle. And if you're not yet and you don't have this stamp set, I think you'll be inspired by the projects that we share during the Stamp Along next week. Do you have anything else to add, Mom?
I don't think so. I think that pretty much covers it. We will put our measurements in this week's description so that if you didn't jot these down, you'll be able to see them next week. So if you're watching a recording, then you'll have time to pause the video and prepare your products. So that's it.
All right, let's flip the camera around now and we'll show off this week's projects.
There you go.
Oh, this Take Your Pick tool attachment, I have to confess, I've had it on my floor for a couple months and I've been putting it off because I was kind of intimidated. But there really is so many things that you can do with these new attachments. And I hope that we have inspired you to get it and to use them. Maybe you already have it. And so we would love to hear if you have additional tips and ideas for using these new attachments. Please leave us a comment and let us know. You guys always have the scoop and always have so many great ideas that we love to hear about. So please, please, please leave lots of comments and share your tips and your favorite techniques for the Take Your Pick tool.
Absolutely. All right. Well, get your stuff ready for us because we're coming next Sunday, Stamping with Susan and Julie for a stamp along. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Mom. Love you.
Love you.